Hello everybody, Iain Robson here. Welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. Alright, we got a couple of diggers that we need to transport today. They're Peterbilt 389. I'm really digging this Peterbilt right now. That's why we've done a couple episodes with it. Honestly, I haven't looked for any newer trucks. Most of the newer trucks I've discovered haven't been that interesting in comparison to it, so that's part of the reason why I haven't worried about it too much. Alright. Let's go off. So we have a couple diggers. I believe these are going to somewhere in Germany. No, Austria, sorry. We're in Salzburg right now. And I believe we're going to Graz, I think it's called. I think that's what the place, the name is called, at least. So we're going to take these guys there. I don't know how far it is exactly. Let's bring up this so we can just see our mirror over there. But it's not too far. There we go. A little bit of a hill start there. Apparently, doing a hill start with the emergency brake is in the manual. I remember asking that question a while back, and someone said it was in the manual for driving in the United States. There, I thought that was kind of cool. Good to know these little types of things. The things you learn, really. So there's always something we don't know, right? This is how I always think about it. There's always somebody smarter than you. It's like when I used to work out a lot in the gym, the thing was always, there's always going to be somebody bigger than you. No matter how much you work out, there's always somebody bigger. Ah, well. Let's downshift here. Take this hill. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things you just got to keep in mind. Like, you can't always think you're going to be the biggest person out there. Mainly because there's always going to be somebody bigger. Bigger, better, stronger, so to speak. Let's just go over here. It's always the case, no matter what it is, really. Whether it's video games, or YouTube, or sports. The thing I learned back in the day was that never compare yourself to other people. Always compare yourself to yourself, and you'll get a better idea. Just want to go straight here. You'll get a better idea as to what's good for you and what's not good for you, so to speak. So I don't know. Call it life advice. I have no idea, but I learned that a while back. All right. Just cruise at a nice even 80. That'll probably do it. Yeah, so we're heading out to Graz, I think it's called. Graz. I think it's how you pronounce it. At least it's just a short little trek. I believe it's only about 200 or so kilometers, which in reality, of course, is like 2 hours. But in the game, it seems like it's not very far. So we're heading out that way. Let's get out and take a look at these diggers here. They're called mutt, I guess, because they can't be called cat. I guess that's due to certain copyrights and whatnot, and all that jazz. So it's funny though. This is pretty much the same trailer you have in Farm Sim. It's the Flygel. It looks like the Flygel trailer that you use in Farm Sim all the time. Doesn't work nearly this nicely though in Farm Sim. It's a bit sketchier in Farm Sim, that's for sure. So it'd be nice. Maybe with the next rendition of the game, we'll see an improvement in the hauling capacities, because depending which trailer you actually use, some of them actually aren't too bad. Some of them are pretty decent actually, but generally what happens is you find that anything you put on the trailer will probably fall off at some point, so they don't really stay on very well, unfortunately for us. So, but that's why you need to take it easy around the corners and all that jazz. So, it would be nice to see somebody port over like a truck from Euro Truck over to Farm Sim. I know you can do it. I just believe it's a lot of work. So. I think it was the Land Rover truck, one of the really nice ones that came out a while back. was actually ported over from a different game into Farm Sim. So it'd be cool to see that happen with some other vehicles, but I don't know if that's against the rules and regulations and all that jazz or not, but it would be pretty awesome to see nonetheless. Alright, this is our turnoff up here, it looks like. So, I don't know, it'd be really neat to see what they could come up with, because there are lots of other vehicle games out there where that's the main focus of the game, is just the vehicles, so. Yeah, like for example, Project Cars would be a good example. Mind you, those cars wouldn't work very well for Farm Sim, but you get the idea what I'm going for. Like Colin McRae Rally Racing or something. No, not even that. Would be, I guess probably GTA would be the most appropriate, I guess. I don't know, actually. What game do you think would work best for porting over models and whatnot? Probably Euro Truck for some things. That's an interesting thought. I'm not even sure. Alright, let's see. It's not safe for us. It's weird though, this is a yield intersection as opposed to a stop sign. Are they gonna wait for us? Looks like that is a no. Oh, there's a car right there trying to turn. Couldn't see it. Blended in with my truck. That will be my excuse. Yeah, I didn't see that. Could you try to explain that to an officer? Yeah, officer, I didn't see the car. Why is that? It was red as well. It kind of blended into my truck. Oh, goodness. Oh, that would be terrible. I guess in the United States it would be the state police. Or state troopers, I guess. Trying to explain that to them. Last time I checked, state troopers. I think that's who patrols the interstate. I think it's state troopers. Last time I checked, if you try to do something like that, they probably wouldn't. They probably wouldn't take it too kindly, as far as I know, at least. Maybe they'd be really nice. Who knows? Luckily, I've never had an encounter with a state trooper. I guess other than Super Troopers, the movie, but I'm fairly certain that's not accurate at all. Jeez, that's going back a ways. Every now and then I'll reflect on a movie I've seen years ago. A good example of that, it would be like Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Have you ever seen that movie? Man, I'm pretty sure I can quote like almost every part of the first movie. It's just ridiculous. One of my favorites from back in the day. It probably was my favorite, the favorite for a long time, but I've seen so many movies over time that it's hard to say that would be my favorite movie still. I don't know. So many good movies out there. Although a lot of movies these days that come out aren't. Whoa. What's with the random stop? There's nobody in front of you, people. Come on. Sheesh. Yeah, some of the movies that come out these days are just terrible. It's hard to imagine good movies like, I don't know. Most of the storylines have been done before. Anything they come out with is just really isn't new, which is unfortunate. Like Avatar, when that Avatar came out, it was basically like, the graphics in it were just phenomenal, but like, the storyline was nothing I hadn't seen before. So it's a bit of a shame in that regards, but it's difficult to come up with something new because there's been so many movies. Like, you can look at one artist, like let's say John Wayne, for example. The number of movies he's done, and like how different the movies are is like, negligible basically. Like the movies just aren't that different at all. I guess we're still in Austria, in the mountains. Oh, toll booths. Totally forgot about toll booths. We'll just maintain this particular section. This is an area of the map that still hasn't been updated yet. I can't wait for the whole map to be updated with a new and improved the new and improved toll booths. I haven't gone through a toll booth in a long time in this game. I try to avoid it at all costs, really. It's one of the reasons why I don't go to one of the reasons I don't go to France or Poland, basically, is toll booths. But unfortunately, you can't get away from them, apparently. It's one of those things. I know in the United States they actually have quite a they have like the transponders and everything on a lot of their toll roads and whatnot. So you can like just drive through the toll booth basically if you have the appropriate equipment. I believe you need a transponder or something like that for it to work properly. I believe that's how it works, at least. So I don't know. And I know how it works in Canada, or in Ontario I should say, because not every province has toll highways, but we have the 407 here in Ontario. It's probably our one and only toll highway that I know of off the top of my head. But there's also a toll bridge that goes from mainland Canada, I guess, out to Prince Edward Island. It's like a 16-kilometer bridge. It's pretty huge. I don't know if it's the biggest bridge, but it's pretty darn big. It's really spooky to drive on, too, if you've ever driven on it. Leave me a comment below if you've ever driven on that bridge. It's called a Confederation Bridge. It goes from Prince Edward Island in Canada to mainland, I guess. I'll say. Very spooky to drive on. Because basically what's happening is, you look left, all you see is the sea. You look right, all you see is the sea. And then you're like, ha 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 ha. Ugh. And then if there's any kind of storm or anything like that, oh man, it's scary. Usually what happens is they don't let people go on the bridge, I believe, if it's too stormy or the conditions aren't safe enough to travel over the bridge, because it's a large bridge too. Like, could you imagine snow squalls, like, and all that jazz? Oh goodness. Oh, coming up to another toll booth. Gotta love toll booths. It's not like they slow you down or anything. But you gotta pay the man, I guess. It's even worse in a truck too, because like you gotta like siphon through all your, go through all your gears before you can even go forward and all that jazz, and then go through all your gears again. There we go. Someone was saying that normally when you're driving a truck you don't even use your first gear unless you're hauling something really heavy. Which I'm inclined to believe, actually, because most of the time I could start off like in 7th gear in this truck without a problem. Like, this is like a fairly powerful truck, and that's probably part of the reason why it's not important for me to start in a low gear, but I try to start in a lower gear, but not necessarily the first gear, because as the person mentioned, it's generally not necessary to have to be in first gear unless you're hauling something super heavy. And I think the heaviest thing in this game is only like 85 tons, I think. There may be some mods that add, you know, higher level stuff, but as far as I know, there's only that, I think it's a train that's 85 tons, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's the heaviest thing in the game. Standard game, I'm not sure, but mods definitely, it's like what is that tree called? I don't know. It's an enormous tree. That's all I can remember. So, and that's the one that I know Dirt Harvest has hauled that tree before a couple times now. I think the biggest challenge he always issues is like try and take that. I think it's a bow bend tree or something like that. I forget. Bow bend? I don't know. Take that tree and like the long, what's it? The long haul, the extended cab or the long cab version of the Kenworth TA100 and try and drive that around. Straight lines are okay, but like, you know, every other place you run into is always like, oh, this isn't gonna work. Oh, this isn't gonna work, and you end up having to like deal with a lot of tight turns with a truck that was never meant to be in Europe. There we go. Let's get this turn. Nice. It's funny, I'm so used to the camera turning with my steering wheel now, it just seems natural to have it in this game as well. Just a standard in-game option too, which is pretty nuts. It never used to be, or well, I don't know if it actually used to be, but I know for Farm Sim it's not an in-game option, it's actually something you have to you have to get a mod for it. So if you want it, it's called the Better Keyboard Steering mod. Did a mod spotlight on it a while ago, but in this game it comes standard, which is really nice. Alright, where's our turn? Looks like it's coming up here, the next intersection. Nope, the one after that. Sure, turn screen as soon as I get there. Yep, looks like it's this turn up here. For us, yeah. Guess we should probably wait for cars to go first. Take a nice wide turn. There we go, nice. Alright, now where is the turn here? Looks like it's right here, actually. See if we can make it. Guess that car didn't see us turning. Alright, so where is our drop-off point? I suppose it's around the back here. It's going to be interesting to see how they decide to... because I know one of the aspects of American Truck Simulator is going to be like the varying degree of difficulty for parking and whatnot. So that's going to be pretty nifty when that's all said and done. So neat. All right, folks, that'll be it for me for today. Another episode of Euro Truck Simulator 2. If you enjoyed yourself, why don't you go ahead and hit that share button? I really appreciate that. My name's Iain Robson. I'll catch you guys later.